At 43, I've had a string of failed relationships. I always tend to be the chameleon in the relationship. I am just recently learning things about myself that are showing me that I didn't even know who I was. I'm trying to learn who I am now. I don't know what I like. I've always been very codependent in the relationship and just forming to whatever I feel like that partner wants me to be. And then when that doesn't work, of course the relationship ends and I'm brokenhearted again. And I just do the same thing over and over again. So anyway, thank you so very much. I love you guys, and everyone have a good day and be blessed.
I'm so deeply touched by everything that you brought forward. So, a couple of things that I wanted to speak to. First of all, the retrograde planets thing, which, as a person with 6 retrograde planets in my natal chart, I've come to learn a lot about what the retrograde planets signify. And in a sense, I think of it from the evolutionary perspective, which is that the retrograde archetype is an intensification of the soul's evolution. We see that Chiron retrograde in Taurus and understand that it's ruled by Venus. And so there's this very significant relationship between the wounds that maybe the string of failed relationships have led you through, but the origins, where does that come from? You spoke a little bit about having family trauma, and that's one of my specialties, I would say. And the reason why I think of it as a specialty is because it takes a really courageous soul to want to heal that and to want to learn what it is to love, to learn how to truly be able to live in a relationship where you feel secure and safe to be yourself. And I love the acknowledgement of realizing that, and that's what made me want to cry, that I'm learning that I didn't know who I was or what I want. So, this particular time in your life, I would say, is probably going to be one of the most profound times of learning how to love yourself, learning who you are, and then falling in love with yourself in the deepest way possible. And I think it's through that Chiron. That Chiron retrograde suggests coming in with an accelerated program to learn about all things Venus. Venus being loved, loving, being in relationship, but the roots of that home and family foundation, learning how to heal those, and then becoming a teacher, a healer. So don't be afraid of Chiron. Don't be afraid of Chiron retrograde. It's almost like receiving the curriculum for a master class that you're going to be teaching yourself in 10, 20, 30 years. Not to put any pressure on you, because there's no way for you to fail in learning how to love yourself.
Okay, let's talk about Kristi. So, a few things about this, Kristi. I want to just share and convey to you that I don't think anything is wrong with you, period, and that you're perfect the way you are. So, let's just put that out there right now before we begin the analysis. So, in terms of the chameleon energy that you're talking about, your chart is wired harmonically to be a chameleon. There are also indications in your chart for more helping people en masse or more groups of people, helping people fulfill projects and goals, helping people in crises, then there is something like a traditional one-on-one love relationship. I think that I'm not going to speak for everyone, but I think just socially, there's this idea or concept that we're all supposed to have this monogamous, loving one on one relationship and things like that. I don't think that's per se true for everyone. So for you, let's start reading your chart. First of all, you have chameleon energy, which is Uranus Pluto. You've got Uranus conjunct your Sun Pluto midpoint at 16-minute orb. And Uranus Pluto, why it's chameleon is because Uranus is the present moment, Pluto is the compulsion. When you put that in together with the sun, it's just, it feels, oh my God, I need to transform for this moment. Oh my God, I need to do, there's pressure to adapt. And so I don't think there's anything wrong with that. As a Gemini rising, I'm like, get your adaptation on, right? Like that is a beautiful thing to do. In terms of toxicity and toxic relationships, that's a different story and it's interesting. You go to your seventh harmonic. So there are harmonics that indicate monogamy, just one-on-one intimacy in general. Seventh harmonic is focused, it's serious, it contains things, it's profound, it's old, it's sophisticated, it goes over and over again, it keeps trying to master something. So for you, you've got Sun and Venus, lunar south node Saturn. Venus in harmonic astrology, it's definitely a love current type of thing that you follow, but Venus also does more than one thing. It does love and something else, always in harmonic. So for you, like, few things about this. Lunar South Node in the seventh harmonic is disciplined, focused inner work conducted into or engineered for the community. So basically, it's like doing all the details, to doing all the tedious work to be of benefit to someone else. Being in a cave, typing, accounting, whatever, to help a group prosper. That's a theme in your chart in different areas, is to uprise people out of crisis, but also just in general. It's I'm here to serve you. So in terms of like codependency, I would like to reframe that and be like service. It's not codependency necessarily.
Oh my goodness, you guys. I have cried. You guys said that you cried. I wish this wasn't live because I needed to pause it. I'm going to have to go back and pause it. You girls. Oh my gosh, you girls. You guys nailed everything. The part about teaching other people and the masses, that has been at my core. I've always felt that my soul resonates with just the Chiron aspect, the story of Chiron, the injured healer, still going back and healing those. That sets with me so hard. And in the last 3 years, I haven't done it. That for quite a while, I ran a sober living program for women, and I helped them come out of prison and get into new houses, not new houses, a new pattern of life. And it was the busiest time of my life, but it was just so rewarding. I just felt so at peace with life. And it didn't have anything to do with me. It was just helping the others. And so thank you for that. The codependency remark, Clarissa, thank you. I needed that because that codependency word has hung on me so hard. And I feel like it's a label, and I can't thank you enough for that. Absolutely. Because I've always been like, it's not me. I'm not the one that's got the problem. But then at the end of the day, the common denominator is me. So I go in to work on what's wrong with me. Because there's got to be something wrong with me.
Oh man.
I could keep going, but I know this is a time show. Thank you guys so very
Yeah,
much.
no, it's all
Well,
good.
thank you, Kristi.
Yeah, I think in that way, you've already activated your Chiron master teacher, because through your own vulnerability and your willingness to show up and share yourself, I'm absolutely sure that you've impacted others and created a ripple effect of healing. And it's like Chiron actually achieved one of the statuses of being a master teacher through the process of being so deeply connected to nature, to the wound, being so close to the wound, but not ever letting it prevent the desire to heal.
Yeah, and I just want to throw on what Michelle is saying about Chiron. Chiron's also resilient. Like you can't take Chiron down. And in terms of like I agree with Michelle. I think from a harmonic perspective, your chart is wired to be more of a service healer en masse, like for more groups of people. And you've got 27th harmonic as some of your top five, which is universal healing. Typically, people with 27th harmonic, like you, Kristi, they themselves are portals for healing. So a lot of those people who are attracted to you, it's because they automatically heal in your presence. So I feel like for you, there's a few things. I know this might not be popular and I do not want to leave you hanging here, but I don't think everybody's in their incarnation is here to be in a romantic relationship. That's some people's soul story. I don't think like you can't be in romantic relationships. Of course you can, but it's like your higher soul story is like, another thing I would say here is make sure that you start dating people who are of service. That's going to be the people that you can be with on a long-term level versus the people who leached on your healing vibe. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you. Thank you for that. That was, well, you girls are good.